Another day. What should I do? Okay. Yo, welcome to a brand new episode of Broken Takes. It's going to be one hell of a good one, and let me tell you, we got everybody in the effing house. Before we start, I'm going to bring on my co-hosts, actually my hosts, I should say. Let's bring up the man, the myth, legend, Color.
What's up, Ali?
Yeah, we'll bring them all up here. Let's bring up Shake Money. What's up, Shake? Let's bring up Lewis. And
What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on? And the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that you never know when you're going to catch him. Let's bring up El Capitan up in the house. It's my birthday week. We got TFTG in the house. It's the Wolf Pack. This is the show. Everybody put your seatbelts on. You never know what you're going to get. We got a full house. I got some people in the back. I can't wait to bring them up. So without ado, let's bring them up. We got Greg in the house.
Yo, what's up?
We got Crypto. Welcome to Broken Takes.
What's going on?
What's going on? This is the Black Friday special, man. First 100 people that hit the like button get $1 off of their NFL ticket with YouTube TV. First 100 people.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Black Friday specials. We're talking about it. We're at the eve, gentlemen and ladies in the chat. We're at the eve of the schedule being released. In fact, do we know what time it's going to be released? Technically, while they're watching 8 p.m., right?
Yeah, but you know what's going to end up happening, though. It's going to be leaked little bit all day long.
Just like today, we found out that Black Friday, we're playing the very first Black Friday game ever in the NFL, right? Who do we have Black Friday? The Jets. Supposedly it's at MetLife Stadium, if I have that correct, right? It's an away
I'm pretty
game.
sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find out we're going to be getting our Frankfurt on and get our lederhosens on and get our Federland hats and everything and start doing the dance like they do in Germany, chugging beers, knocking it off with Kansas City and the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. It's going to be fun, man. So
I see disappointment amongst the fan base about the Germany game.
I
was
one.
I'll tell you why, because me and
I'm
Color,
okay with it.
Me and Color wanted our Arrowhead Stadium trip. We wanted our away game.
Yeah,
we
were thinking about going.
A lot of people wanted it. A lot of people wanted that Arrowhead matchup and the return of Tyreek Hill to Arrowhead. Blah, blah.
Yeah. And no disrespect. Go ahead.
Personally, I want that in the playoffs. That's when I want it.
Yeah,
I mean, no regular season game. Give me the playoffs. And shout out to the NFL for doing what they do best. They know the anticipation of Tyreek Hill versus Kansas City. They're trying to have that whole mix up. Why have it in the Arrowhead stage, which we would appreciate personally, especially Dolphins fans that can go there, but they're going to take that to an international stage. So
the money to be had, El Capitan, is a lot more on the world stage. That's where it comes down to. Listen. The NFL has grown beyond the United States. You need to get that out of your head if you think that this game is now just our game. It's no longer our game. It's the world's game. They've been marketing. You've noticed over the past 2 or 3 years, they have marketed in several countries, not just England and Mexico and now Germany. We've been marketing out the hell out of Brazil. You know what I mean? And if you think that there's no room for an international team, I'm going to tell you you're wrong, because when money counts the most, the money will be made and the NFL will be getting that dollar. That is the reality of it. So is that good for the league? Is that bad? That's for the fans to decide. That's for you and I to decide. That's for us that go to the games to decide. I will tell you, the Kansas City in Germany is disappointing to me because, come on, Kansas City, the return of Tyreek Hill must be played in front of Kansas City fans. No disrespect to the fans in Germany, but from what I heard, the Buccaneers own that country, not the Chiefs. That's what I hear, according to historical and fans alike. So
in Germany?
Yes, and Color knows the history about that. The Buccaneers and the Buccaneers and the pirate history makes sense to German history. Color, take it away. You know what I'm talking about.
Boo.
Well,
Hey,
I don't know.
way,
I do know though that there's up where Lewis and Clark launched their expedition in a little town called Washington, Missouri, on the Missouri River. About 10 miles north of there's a little town called Dutzau, which is the first German settlement in the state of Missouri. And all along that route, all the way to Jefferson City, Missouri, the capital, is called the Missouri Rhineland. And if you continue on west out to Kansas City, you have nothing but German colonies, basically. Some of them, like Dutzau, are actually considered sister cities with towns in Germany. And so you have a large German heritage population, that runs right along the Kansas City fan belt. So they actually should. I can see the NFL thinking, well, if we're going to get anybody in America to show up over in Germany, it's going to be along that Missouri Rhineland belt,
Yeah, but you also look at the fact that the Buccaneers, and this is kind of what I was going with, the Buccaneers have marketed the hell out of Germany. They're big Brady fans over there. You know what I mean? So the fact that you have Kansas City coming there, yeah, it definitely makes sense historically based on region and everything. I get it. With it also being said that the Buccaneers, though, if you go into the history based on the early middle-age pirates and whatnot, there is actually a lot of history coming from Germania and other places that have roots there. So I understand it's crazy to believe, but based on history, and me and Color have talked about it in length, there is links to it. So I get the point. But my point is, I just didn't want to see Kansas City there. I want to see Kansas City here in front of the Chief fans. So when the Miami Dolphins, yes, I'm giving my broken take, when the Miami Dolphins smack Kansas City in the face, the Chief fans will feel it. That's why I brought up the fact.
Oh, Capitan makes a good point that, hey, well, sure, we don't necessarily want to have a playoff game in Kansas City per se, but yeah, it could still happen there, And I want to point out that the last time we played a playoff game in Arrowhead, I believe we won it.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
But there's no guarantee that Kansas City is going to make the AFC Championship with us. So.
Ooh. Well, it could be like a divisional round game or something, or a wild card. I think that game we won in Kansas City was a wild card game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Steve DeBerg Was
Plus,
still
Yeah,
their
to Shake
quarterback.
Money's
yeah.
point,
Yeah, that's who it was. Steve DeBerg.
they'll end up playing that AFC Championship game in Miami. So,
Yeah.
it is what it is, dog.
Exactly.
Just say,
There it
Here,
is.
there it
gonna-
is.
Right.
I had a broken take for you guys along the line of AFC championships. Listen, Buffalo Bills fans, I know you couldn't be represented by your boy Amicus here tonight. That's fine. But let me tell you this.
All talk, no walk.
Burrow will, and I admittedly said I'm going to admit I was wrong. I said prior to this that I could never see Burrow making the Super Bowl ever again, and I didn't think he'd have a chance. I was wrong, right? I'm gonna change it up. Allen will never see a Super Bowl. He
Yeah.
will never win a Super Bowl, even if he makes it. He will
I
never
thought
win
this was broken takes, Ali, not takes
Yeah.
on the nose. I mean,
Right.
let's be real. I mean, come on, bro.
I'm gonna take it a step further.
Take a stretch,
Hold
bro.
on,
We're talking
I'm
about the
not done.
Bills.
I'm not done.
Right.
Here's the broken part of it. Elite quarterbacks find a way to win. Elite quarterbacks find a will and a way to get to the game they want to be. And Josh Allen is not elite.
Yeah, again, I think that's a little on the nose.
Okay.
Don't mean to undercut you, Ali, but it's the
Well,
Bills.
maybe it's
Bills
a broken
suck. We all
nose.
know it.
No.
That was really directed.
Amen.
That was
Broken
really
takes,
directed.
broken nose. Good job, Color.
That
Play
was
on words.
that actually was more directed to the Bills fans. We already know he's a joke, so I mean that's just between
They
us.
know it. They
They
know
know
it
it.
about
Baby
themselves.
too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's a
Listen,
crybaby, and you
Here's
know
a
what?
broken take. The Bills are going to re-sign Matt Ariza.
Oh,
I don't
Actually,
think that's broken. I
that's-
think that's a done deal.
Actually, that's
what
a
they
good-
do. That's
that was-
so like the Bills.
Yeah, that's true. And then here's the other thing. That was on my next lineup to talk about, gentlemen. Should we make a play at Ariza based on the fact that the information that's come out, or should we just leave it
Nah.
alone and walk away?
Leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, I no thanks.
The guy had a hell of a leg. He can
I say
know,
stick it
we
right to
are
Buffalo.
God,
I
we
say
know,
stick
buddy
it right to
listen.
Buffalo and show how stupid and knee-jerking they are, man, because the guy was literally not even there, bro. Like, he's been completely exonerated, dude. There's
Yeah,
no
yeah.
baggage. You know what I mean?
We have Michael.
I want to say something real quick about that. If we do
Go
get, listen, I'd rather get Sean Oakwood, dude. That was one dude. He came from Baylor.
Sean
There was a guy named
Oakwood.
Sean Oakwood. This guy, he was 6'8". This guy was a brick fucking house, bro. He was accused of the same thing, and it was acquitted. And he's no longer, dude. The guy would have been easily a first-round draft pick. Look him up, Sean Oakwood, bro.
A
The
punter,
guy
a
was
first-round draft pick
no,
punter?
no.
To be
No, he's
honest
a
with you, I
defensive
think
end.
Matt Ariza should sue the piss out of the Buffalo Bills.
Is Sean Oakwood the guy that they're making the movie about, or there's a movie about him?
I'm not sure, but he was from Baylor, bro. The guy was
Okay,
freaking
no.
shredded, bro. The guy was
I'm
6'8",
Well-
bro.
I'm thinking of the guy from Florida State where he was at.
What position he played?
It was not. He
Defensive
spent
end.
like 8 years. Yeah.
Well, I'm not a lawyer,
Yeah,
so this might be broken, but Matt Ariza should sue the piss out of the Buffalo Bills. And I think
I could see
I think
that happening.
the NFL may call up a team and be like, "Yo, do something so this don't happen." You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the dude's career
You know
is
where he'll end up?
over
You know
nothing.
where he'll end up? He'll end up on the fucking Patriots, boys. That's where that guy goes. Or Cowboys. One of those two teams.
Speaking of lawsuits,
Yeah, or the Browns.
the whole thing with the Commanders and the Colts with Andrew Luck.
Oh my god.
All right, guys.
Oh,
If
my God, bro.
listen, if the Commanders don't lose a first round pick, I'm gonna call out the NFL every fucking day of the week.
yes,
Ali,
fucking
not just
Cardinals.
it's not just that too. Think of all the shit the Commanders have had with dirt between in Mexico where he had the cheerleaders, doing favors for people, and it was like
Mhm.
sexual exploitation to wash
Yeah.
under the rug for only this guy to then weasel his way out and sell it for a friggin' hundreds of millions of dollars at the profit.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I get it. It's in the most corrupt area of the country. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? All around that spot where all the politicians and everything's all at. But dude, I no. Get out of here, bro.
Yeah, if
I
they
am
let
sick
him,
of it.
if they let them get away with that shit,
No,
dude,
they'll
I'm
get
telling
away
you.
with it. They'll get away with it. 'cause
Oh
it's a
man,
new
that breaks
owner.
my heart.
They're gonna get away with it. It's a new owner. They're gonna say, "Hey, we can't penalize the new owner with it." Da, 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 da. That's just how it's gonna go.
All right,
That's
then
what
I'm
it
going
is.
back to my original take that I brought to you on Shake Money Show about an hour or two ago. You know what? The NFL has an agenda against the Miami Dolphins. 'Cause
Yeah.
it don't matter what we
Bro,
do.
that's-
We do the same exact shit that any other team does, but no, they have to take away draft picks, fine people,
Yeah.
lawsuits galore. Fuck that. I'm done with this shit, dude.
Bro, the
Hey,
Cardinals tampered for the
listen.
Eagles coach and they only lost a third-round pick.
Goodell and the NFL and the founding families to be, the 72 Dolphins was what, 50 some years ago? Get over it. We went undefeated. Who cares? It's done and over with. Let's get the fuck over it and move on. If you're going to freaking
they gotta
do
get over
something,
it.
if you're going to do something to players or teams or executives or whatever it may be it just straight across the board. Don't like, oh, you're in trouble, but you know what? We're best friends. We don't have to do nothing. You know what? It's like saying, El Capitan, you're shit, color, you're my boy. You know what I mean? What the fuck? It just,
yeah, but we see plenty of that in the fan base. You know what I'm saying? So what are you talking about?
That's true. I guess
Pete,
I don't know.
you're talking about people putting aside their unbiasedness and the fact that we operate in quite the corruption in this nation. Let's be real, boys.
Yeah, it is what it is. So this is some of the stuff we're talking about tonight. Is broken takes. Everybody giving you their broken takes. So the biggest news out today is, like I said, we have the Germany game, and then we have the Black Friday game. Which game are you looking more forward to, and why? We'll start with Greg.
The Black Friday game.
Okay.
Because the media is hyping the Jets up, and I want to beat their ass.
All right. You're looking for that.
Looking forward to the Chiefs
I'll piggyback on a broken take with that.
All right. What do you got, Crypto?
You ready? I wish Lewis was here for that because he was giving Aaron Rodgers a lot of stuff as of late. I'm going to say broken take. Jets go 15-2 in their 2 losses and blowout fashion to the Dolphins.
Say that again.
The Jets are going 15-2, and their 2 losses are going to be to the Dolphins.
15-2.
I would say that's a super broken take. The fact that the Jets would go 15. No way, bro.
15-2, and only 2 losses is to the Dolphins by average of 30 points.
Listen. There's a higher chance of Aaron Rodgers. There's a higher chance of Aaron Rodgers becoming a spokesman for Viagra than going 15-2. Get the fuck out of here.
The Lions will go 15-2.
Hey, listen, Crypto, you threw that shit off the Empire State Building, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
It's not the Dolphins beating them 2 times apart. It's the 15 wins for the Jets. That's
I said we're going to be the only team to beat them. There you go. There's our Super Bowl.
Listen. Aaron Rodgers is basically an old man that has erectile dysfunction. He just can't get it up anymore, man. The ball is not going to come out the same way as it used to, bro. I mean, it's gonna be like throwing a hot dog down a hallway in some cases. I mean, get the fuck out of here with the Jets. I'm not afraid of the Jets. My broken take is that this fan base is too afraid and too soft. I'm not.
Crypto's easy with the hot dog abuse.
This is listen. This is the wolf pack.
Ali.
I want to say something. Hold on. I'm gonna say something real quick. Hold on. All right. People want to know what the wolf pack is. I'm gonna tell you what the wolf pack is, right? The wolf pack is not a group of people. It is a mindset of being a fan any which way you want. If you want to hold your team to a higher standard, that's fine. Nobody says you can't do that. You can do that. I hold my team to highest standards. In addition to that, it's showing passion 100%. Going to the games regardless of what, talk your shit, say whatever the fuck you want. It don't matter. All that matters is that you're okay and you support your team to the fullest, right? I'm here for 4 quarters and overtime, baby. And I don't care if we're down 20 or down 30. I'm going to root my team till the clock says 0 and the game's actually over. That's the reality of it. And I will do that every single day, every single week, every single game, off season, on season. It doesn't matter. That's the reality of it. So,
and I might say the whole team is trash on the way to doing it.
I think
So what?
Ali should now explain what the sheep pack is. That's what I think you should do, Ali.
Sheep herd.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Explain the other side of that coin of the sheeple.
well, I'm going to be straight.
Hey, Ali.
As a somewhat famous wrestler said, the sheep pack are soft. That's right. They are soft. That's what sheep are. The people that get herded. They follow like lemurs. They look at a pretty shiny light and they follow that light, hoping it leads to the glory land, but never to get there because it keeps getting away. You ever see use a red laser on a kitten or a cat, and they try to chase it no matter if they try just to get it into their hands, and they just can't no matter what? That's what the sheep is. That's what they are, and that's the reality of it.
So sheeple are laser pointer.
I want to
people.
get I wanted to get the broken takes on fire by giving that jet take.
That's
Giving
all
us
right,
those
man.
2
You
wins.
did, Crypto. But I'm telling you straight up, you can say Jets all you want. I'm not afraid, bro. I told everybody on Shake Money Show, and I'm straight up with it. Give me Kansas City first. Give me Eagles
I got
first.
you.
Give me the big bad wolves of the NFL first. I don't want to play them when we're at our weakest point and our quarterback may have an injury or some corner is down with injuries or some running back. I don't want teams to play us that way. I want us to be 100% and then to be 100%. So there's no excuses, Crypto.
Yeah.
We win.
We're not going to get.
better team.
Here's another broken take. We're not going to get injured all season.
Really?
Well, listen.
Damn.
Well, here's the
That
thing.
is a broken take.
I got this on my mind, and I'm going to say it because I said it in my opening monologue today. What happened was, listen, Black Friday. Think about this. Can you imagine traveling around November, December is a pain in the ass, but can you imagine trying to get a fucking flight on fucking Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I know.
Let
you got to spend the whole week
let
there.
alone Black Friday. Listen, NFL, I know this. You think everybody's going to be at home. Go ahead.
Yeah, but a lot of people travel on that holiday. It's the most traveled holiday in America.
It's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's the most expensive holiday, too.
And
here's the thing. Last year, the fucking Jets tried to sign a petition to stop the MetLife takeover, which didn't fucking happen. It happened anyway. So what did they do? They made a fucking Black Friday game to keep the Miami Dolphins in Miami.
What?
So fuck you, NFL.
What?
Yeah.
Shake is exposing
Shake.
this shit. Shake has pulled the curtain back of the bias of the NFL colluding with the Jets to try to stop the Miami Dolphins from continuing to take over their stadium year in and year out. Wow, Shake, what an astute point by you. I think we need to really take that and drive that home from now until the chickens come home to roost.
Let's look at it this way too. Do you know how many? Do you guys know how many flights got canceled in 2022 on Black Friday?
A lot.
I imagine about 100.
Over 4,000 flights were canceled on Black Friday
alone. Bad.
4,000 Crypto. 4,000 flights had to be redirected or couldn't take off because of whatever reason. People were stranded, at airports. That's Miami Dolphin fans, people that spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to go to the games, right? And can't make it to the game just because you want to accommodate a Jets team that because they have some quarterback that's at the end of his career. Let's be real here, right?
Well, here's my broken take then. The fix is in, boys. Shake has pushed me over the edge. The fix is in. I don't want to ever predict a Dolphins loss, but because of Shake's point, I will only look at the loss in MetLife if the Dolphins acquire it as exactly what Shake has pointed out. It is collusion at its finest. They are working in tandem to keep the Miami Dolphins down and continue to do so.
The Bills, we won't see the Bills in Miami until like November, December because they're scared of heat.
There you go.
Wow, Greg, continuing. Wow. They won't make their trip till the weather takes a turn for the better for Bills.
Or they make it a 4 o'clock.
And also on a side note, apparently Christian Wilkins grabbed Josh Allen's crotch. He said it was like grabbing a Ken doll. I don't know what he meant by that.
Wow. But to compound the y'all's broken takes there, I think that the majority of our home games this year are going to be in prime time because of the whining and bitching of Buffalo fans to the NFL about the heat and threatening to go to OSHA and all that. So the NFL is going to make most of our home games primetime games, so we don't have that heat advantage.
Listen, so basically what I've concluded here, that the Jets, according to Shake Money and some of your guys' takes, the Jets are the new darlings of the NFL. They're already making accommodations. You know what I mean? They're already on national media. They're all over everything. You know,
they're everybody's hot item. You're right.
Well, and they've already done enough, and they've already done enough time to make up for butt fumble. You know what I mean? So
well, they got a whole new butt to fumble on, Killer. But Ali is completely right in the fact that we remember this type of hype behind the Bills last year. Everyone's picking them. They're immediately in everyone's new graphic on any sports network of the teams on the rise or you know, playoff bound, or you know, the teams that are going to be there when it all matters late in the season. And we saw what happened when the Bills, who were given that type of respect, showed up last year and just looked a step out of sync all year long, and they accommodated them again and again and again with schedules, with matchups, flying them to different states. I mean, you name it, the NFL has bent over backwards to make sure that Vegas number of over under was right there for the push.
Look at it this way. Look at it this way, right? We're the Miami Dolphins, right? We slid into the playoffs. We lost in the first round, right? We brought Jalen Ramsey. We brought a really good defensive coordinator, one of the best, to be honest. But we didn't really do very much more. And what did they do to us? We finished second in the AFC East, and we are still the third most traveled team in all of the NFL. 31,000 miles we have to go. Where is the 31,000 for the Jets, who supposedly is the NFL darling? They're not going to have to. They will get accommodated. And mark my words, I can bet money on this. When the first snowstorm hits the New England area, they will accommodate the Jets. You will see that game's getting moved to Detroit or brought down here. Who knows? They might rent out our stadium and play in our stadium for all
right.
That fucking better not, Ali. I will not let that happen. I don't think so.
Mark my words, El Capitan. Think about this. Think about this.
Just take that shit to Jacksonville, bro. Get the hell out of here.
What state besides New Jersey and New York has more Jersey and more New Yorkers? Florida.
I don't give a damn.
They will accommodate.
Damn, Ali. Fuck all that
stadium.
Nonsense.
They will accommodate with the Florida stadium. That's my
negative. Better not.
Yes, they will. They will. I guarantee it.
It's pitchforks and torches, boys, ladies and gentlemen. It's pitchforks and torches. We got to make sure nobody's allowed to get off that bus. No way. That ain't happening. I don't think so.
Oh, man.
All right. Yeah. So as far as which game you were saying,
which game you're looking forward to? You go ahead, El Capitan. What do you got? Which game you got?
So, I mean, look, I'm looking forward to both of them. I mean, look, there's a lot to weigh in a decision like that. Which one you look forward to more? Because isn't the Germany game going to be at like 9 a.m. or something? Oh yeah,
9:30. I'm gonna be losing my head.
It'd be about 9:30.
Yeah,
6:30 Pacific.
Yeah, that's a hard get up early on a Sunday.
Insert cash or select payment type.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I gotta. There's a toll.
Select payment type.
Everything the NFL does, that's what it is. If it has to be 9 o'clock in the morning, it's because of this.
Insert cash or select payment type.
That's what 100%. They're telling you every time.
And
exactly.
So I gotta. That kind of sucks. I do like the big stage for the German and European crowd to have the Dolphins over there with our product. Remind you, with Tua and all these players, Ramsey. We have marquee players up and down the roster that, if you're thinking in terms of video games, sports cards, and who's on the cover of what, this team is chock full of them. So as far as that product showing up there and representing the NFL, I'm proud to do it. The Chiefs on the other end, Super Bowl defending champs, going to show up there facing the Dolphins. I just would have to say that I know it sounds weird, but the victory in Kansas City or against Kansas City, I don't know if it outweighs the victory against the Jets in their house. You know what I'm saying? So if we lose to the Jets, it'll hurt more on Black Friday in prime time at their house than if we were to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs in Germany. What I don't want is all the excuses that follow with all the travel, all the excuses that follow with why things, didn't work out for the Dolphins. I don't give a shit about excuses. Don't give me no excuses. So it is what it is. I agree. It seems like every single year when you measure up what the Dolphins travel to any other team, we are in the top 5. It seems like every single year. So, I don't know, is what it is. Remember we're always going to the West Coast and back to the East Coast and back to the West. I mean, it's just a nonsense thing. We're having to stay on the West Coast for a couple of weeks. We're having to fly to Germany. We're having to go to England. We're having to, all this shit. It seems like every time I turn around, we're in a different time zone with this team for miles traveled. But I don't know. To me, because I would like both wins, I got to look at what I dislike more. And I think the Black Friday against the Jets in MetLife, that would probably, so I'd have to go more anticipating on that game than the Kansas City game.
I'm not gonna lie, that's the game I'm looking more forward to. I think the Jets, in my opinion, based on everything that they've said, everything that they've done during the offseason and what their fans have said to us and everything like that, we're going to smack you in the mouth. That's reality, Jets fans. We're going to smack you so hard. We don't even need our fans there because Aaron Rodgers and our secondary are not going to mesh. And this is not a lie, right? Regardless of what you think, Aaron Rodgers has only scored 1 touchdown and I want to say it was 1 touchdown and 1 interception in that last game that we had with him, right? So it wasn't that big of a game for him. It wasn't like the old Aaron Rodgers that would score 3 touchdowns, no problem. It was 1 interception, 1 touchdown. That's all he scored. So it's not that big of a thing. And here's the other part of it. I put out a hot take on Shake Money Show. I said we were going to start the season 6-1. That is very possible, but I'm going to give you my more realistic take. I honestly see the season playing out that we actually beat the teams that we should have beat last season. The Jets, I'm sorry, we're going to sweep you. New England, we're going to sweep you. I honestly think we do have the ability to sweep the Bills now. But I honestly think we're going to probably start the season. I'm going to actually go out and say it. We're probably going to start the season being like 3-2. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that's how it starts. Okay. But I think we do beat the teams that we should have won against. The Jets, New England, I think we sweep them no problem. Bills, I think we sweep them. That's what I kind of think. The Eagles and Kansas City is what I'm concerned about. Everybody else, I honestly think that we can beat no problem.
I would also be concerned with the Cowboys.
I'm not concerned with the Cowboys, dude. The Cowboys beat themselves.
Yeah, they play a sound defense that's there.
Plus, who's going to be running back for them? I know they got Deuce Vaughn, but you really think a rookie is going to show up right off the bat and kill it?
Well, I'm just scared of their defensive line and their ability to, maybe.
Yeah, they do got a crazy defensive line.
Quarterback.
That's actually another question. Can what's his name? Their linebacker. Who's their big time linebacker that they got that we all wanted to draft?
Overshawn?
Not Overshawn. No, from a couple years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago.
He was like Micah Parsons.
What's his name? Micah Parsons. Yeah. Yeah. He is actually bulking up to play edge. How do you guys feel about that?
Please just don't hurt Tua if you're listening.
Oh man. Damn, I wasn't even going there,
please
Greg.
don't hurt
Jesus
Tua.
Christ.
Don't hurt Tua.
I mean, Micah Parsons. I mean, wasn't that what was
God.
gonna happen? Like, wasn't he always gonna be an edge guy? Like,
I don't know.
I know he's technically linebacker, but like,
can he be just as productive as edge?
Here's the
compared to
deal.
linebacker?
That's what they want. You know why he's going for the edge thing? He wants that pass rusher moniker next to his name, not DE, not LB. He wants that pass rusher because that pass rusher gets $100 million guaranteed quick.
So what you're saying, El Capitan, is
Insert cash or select payment type.
that's right.
That's what
Boy
you're
smart.
saying.
He need to get his. Listen, the kid's
What
good.
he had said was,
The kid is good. He's good. He's a good football player, and you know he's got a lot of heart. He does talk a lot and express his displeasure with the Cowboys and their failures and stuff like that. And he talks about, I don't know. And every time I turn around, there's some tweet. Micah Parsons says he wanted to be an Eagle or some shit. You know, he's jealous of the Eagles and what they're doing. Wishes Dallas would do this. And there's some quote like, but hey, whatever.
Like Micah Parsons is the real deal. I like him. I think he's an amazing defender, and whatnot. I just think playing a different position can be difficult. Now, can he overcome that? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think he could, but you know, it doesn't always work out. You know what I mean? Just depends on you know, what your tangibles are and what your ability and your focus and everything. So we'll see what happens. He's a pretty successful kid, so I think he could probably do it. That's
definitely got the right stuff to be a damn good football player. That's for sure.
Definitely. Speaking of football players, so we've brought in a football player. We signed Tyler Croft, who's been in the year, like 5 years now, I want to say. It's like 5 years.
I think it's closer to 7 now, right?
7 years. I think it might be a 7 years.
I think this is his 7th year, maybe.
Yeah, 2017, I think, was his best year. The guy had like 7 touchdowns. He was.
I mean, bro, he's been on the Bengals, which I think is the team that drafted him, the Jets, the Bills, and the
49ers.
Niners.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
that's 4 teams. That's at least 4 years right there.
Yeah.
So it's probably his 6th or 7th year.
So what do you think about these tight ends we're bringing? We brought in Higgins. We brought in Eric Stolbert, which is my favorite guy that I've seen so far. And the guy has some arms. I don't know if you've seen the pictures. He's been in the gym. You can tell. I don't know. What do you guys think the plan is for tight end?
"Quote unquote" block.
Do you think it's all for blocking? That's all we're bringing these guys in. I mean, Elijah Higgins seems like a guy that they're bringing in to replace Gesicki. Maybe he can run the routes the way that they want him run because he's actually a wide receiver. Just being honest.
I don't know. I was vying for Eric Ikuzama to put some weight on and be a tight end. Honestly, I thought that would be a smart move. Have him in if he can put a little bit of weight on. See how he does on inline blocking, and he'd be great out of the slot or spread out wide. He could be a dynamic weapon if he were to make the transfer to tight end by putting a little weight on. I don't know how his blocking would be inside like that from the line, setting edges or getting to the second level and putting a hat on linebackers. But if he can do it and be the type of wide receiver, even if he loses his step, he's a big boy. So I don't know enough about Higgins to really give a accurate ordeal on him, but I can't imagine it being much different than Tanner Connor as far as the projections of productivity and what they have as far as a plan for him. So to me, it seems like they're taking the same approach with the tight end room as they're taking with the offensive line. They're going to have a mixed bag of nuts. They're going to find out what guys can do, and they're going to ask them to do what they can and coach them up on what they can't and keep the best and go essentially with a high floor, but not a really high ceiling in that category. So that's just what it seems like to me.
And
I don't know how well that'll work, but then again, if you look at the Niners outside of when they find somebody in positions, that's what they do. They just keep shuffling guys in and, this guy might not be great, but he's not terrible either. And the system kind of makes up for the lack of dynamicness. And you really, when you're thinking about money allocations to positions and how you want to build a roster on offense and on defense, you can't pay everyone, you can't buy everyone, you can't make all those picks, and you got to prioritize what's most important in your scheme, which the Dolphins have done on defense by making things important, like the secondary as far as a couple of guys, and then the front line as far as a lot of guys. Linebacker position has taken a back seat, which is the sign of the times still. And then on the opposite end of the ball in this offense, they prioritize the wide receiver position, pass catchers, route runners, that whole thing, and quick timing. And they want to have fresh legs, open windows, and try to mix it up every now and again. And when you're biting on that run or biting on that route, they're gonna have a little route for the tight end to come and take a piece out of you and just give you one more thing to have your head spinning. Unless one of these dudes step up and show that, hey, look at how even they used Kittle. They used Kittle a lot years ago out of the passing game. It seemed like he was just a fantasy, killer. And there's still games where he goes off, but he's not really the weapon like that it used to be. They have him block, and then he makes like 4 or 5 catches, gets like 60-something yards and a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? And that's super effective. And then in certain games, you've been sleeping on him. He's only caught 4 passes the past 2 weeks. Well, this week he's going to get 8 passes and or 8 catches out of 10 targets or something like that, and really put it on you. And I think it's just it's a sleight of hand a little bit that they're trying to play with who they have on their roster, matching up with what they have done. And I hope Vic Fangio is really going to be the key to exploiting that position or other positions, any position really, especially with his cross, stuff from taking his head coaching to then being the consultant on offense with the Eagles. So I got high expectations for everybody, but it's just interesting to see how their roster construction is, especially with Dolphins fans around wanting a tight end to be solidified in the position. So,
yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming from. I know we talked about it privately and publicly that we thought Easy could be the guy that they have hiding, that they're gonna have him bulk up throughout the season last season, and that's why he never really suited up. And he could be the tight end. And it never happened. It still amazes me that he never got to really see the field. And I want to say, what's his name?
Braylon Sanders.
Braylon Sanders, who was an undrafted rookie, saw more time at play and more passes made to him than Eazy-E. It surprises me. Hold on. It surprises me that we brought in Berrios and we drafted Elijah Higgins. So what's going on with Eazy-E? That's the next question here. What the heck's going on? Take it away.
Well, look at Braylon Sanders' comp as far as when you look at size, speed, route running ability, stuff like that. Who does he emulate that was on the roster last year? It looks a lot like Trent Sherfield in the way he plays his game. So if you look at Braxton Berrios, look at his comp. He's shifty, smaller guy. The routes and asks of that wide receiver in this offense is going to be the same routes and asks that you're going to ask of Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So when I think of Eric Ikuzama and how he can be used in this offense, it's really kind of an odd pick if you want to be real, because they didn't really use Mike Gesicki. They don't really use that big target. I think of more like the Alabama offense with Slim Reaper and stuff like that, and the type of weapons they use. I don't know. It's odd to me. It is. I would really like to see Eric Ikuzama show up to camp this year, 10 pounds heavier in muscle and just straight yoked, and getting his hands extended out on people and driving people off the ball in the blocking game. I think if he could figure a way to be a blocking wide receiver, it's going to help him in what they use him for, because that's kind of what they need, in these route concepts, a guy to get upfield and put hands on someone to start running on them. So
what if the plan is not for him to gain weight and get bulked up, like you said, and yoked up and everything? What if it is to slim down and get faster might be the concern, because they want to use him in a way that he could be that possession receiver from 0 to 10 yards that they're missing.
I don't think he's got the speed for what they want. Look at Chosen Anderson. So that's the kind of guy they want. They want that sleek, long stride that, on that skinny post, all the way up on the left side of the field, coming across the middle there, 30 yards downfield, can get the that deer stride on his ass. I don't know if Ikuzama has that kind of speed, but maybe he does. Maybe if he does drop that weight, I don't know. He's still young. I mean, but
anything could happen. But the reality for me is, at this point, did the Miami Dolphins waste a 3rd round draft pick? Not 3rd round. I'm sorry.
It was a
round.
4th
round. Yeah, 4th round draft pick.
I don't
So
know.
did we waste a draft pick?
It's weird because if you look at the Niners, or at least we don't even have to look at the Niners, we could look at what Mike McDaniel's kind of doing. It's almost like he's the way they're picking is we're gonna farm this guy. This kid's gonna grow up in our system, and we're gonna mold him into the weapons we want in this offense. So if Eric Ikuzama comes out this year and is something different, or even if he's just sitting on the sidelines, it might be something they might go to later down the line. Maybe they think he can be a Debo type of factor. Maybe they think they can put him back there as the wing running back and like an offset eye or a wishbone type of package and really fuck you up. I don't know, but I gotta imagine that a mind like Mike McDaniel can figure a way to use any weapon. Just I don't know.
What do you think?
The way you were describing, by the way, the way you're describing him was kind of like with the muscles, kind of like a Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wide receiver. Yeah, that physical.
I'm thinking more of like a DK Metcalf, like really yoke the kid up. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if he's got that. He don't have that DK Metcalf speed. DK Metcalf is a freak with the speed for a guy that size. It is ridiculous. He's a freak, bro.
Dude, he's what we call a freak athlete, bro.
That guy is insane. Like, that guy's an Olympian athlete. When you look at the way he moves and stuff, that's an Olympian right there. That guy is crazy. But I mean, if you put like the type of weight on him, I'm thinking of like a Tony Gonzalez for Eric Ikuzama. That's what I'm thinking personally. And I thought of John Embry, who was the architect in Tony Gonzalez and what he could do. The odd part is that the kid's from Texas Tech, and it's Wes Welker who's really put the neck out for him, but I don't really see him in that role. And I think that there might be a little bit of realization of that amongst there, as far as his talent and what he can do. Kid catches great with his hands out in front of him. I just would really like him to be that big slot or, close to the line, really that tight end that you would reserve for a tight end, but he's out there as a wide receiver, but you think he's running a route and he's not. He's actually, covering and setting the edge on the reverse, coming around, and he's just digging you into the ground and pushing this corner back and blocking out linebackers. If he gets like that, I think he could be a really great weapon out there on the field where he can get it like that, manhandle some of these smaller corners, and then use that now physicality that he's putting on them as a blocker to then get them to play soft or play up on him, and he can just maneuver around and he's just mossing fools. So I don't know whether or not he washes out. If he washes out, then then it's a waste 4th round pick. But I guess we'll have to see what happens.
Exactly.
So. Yeah, definitely. I'm interested to see what happens. You talked about the defense a little bit and how the defense is built regarding the defensive line and how it's bulked up, and then you have the secondary that's bulked up as well. And then we're really not have put the importance on the linebacking position. Is there anything about the linebacking position that you find interesting that they could possibly do? Like, for example, I have said that you could see like safety linebacker hybrid type of players come in and fill roles and throughout that linebacker core. Could you see a Brandon Jones playing linebacker at one point?
I've been saying I would like to see Brandon
Can he
Jones
tackle?
as Yeah, the Brandon Jennings can tackle like a son of a bitch. I think it's, I don't know, they give it different names. Sometimes they call it money backer, sometimes they call it, but I think they also want to do that for everybody. I think they want all of their DBs to roam. So you're not going to know who's playing down in the box at the line blitzing, or, looks like he's going to blitz, but it's going to drop into the slot position, or, is all the way up high as the second safety, but he was just playing corner the series before. And before the ball is snapped, he's now run up to the line and there's a single high safety. I think what we're going to see out of the defense isn't too dissimilar to what we saw as far as looking at it personnel before the snap back when Brian Flores was here. The only difference is instead we're going to play on ball on the line lockdown corners. These guys are going to be off the ball probably more often than not. And I'm hoping, and it's something I thought that the defense was going to evolve into, and you can go back and listen to me say this back when Flores was still around, that it would evolve to where these DBs would rotate where they're at on the field, this freedom to move around for matchup abilities and as setting traps for the defense. And it looks like that's where we're heading in some ways. I don't know. We'll have to see what Fangio puts out there, but I don't know. I think it'll be, you got to think of what you're going to ask of these guys. We know that Javon Holland can play down in the box and blitz, even though we didn't ask him to do that a lot. We had him play a lot of, keep everybody out of the end zone. But he can. That Brandon Jones, he can play great blitzing, but he can also play, as a sit in the hole, covering and things in front of him. I wouldn't really want him turning hips and running downfield to chase anybody. He doesn't really have that kind of makeup, but I think again, as a pseudo jack linebacker, where he's a DB, but he's coming up and it's really showing there was all these DBs deep on the field, but the ball snapped and he's actually playing the will linebacker right now. So that's something where he has a multiplicity in his job titles and how he's going to be used. But also, same thing with Ramsey. He could play down inside the box. He could play, off man. He could play, lockdown, inside, outside, or, come and blitz from the corner position where Brandon Jones was hitting people from. So same thing with Howard. I don't know how they'll use Howard. Howard's getting a little long in the tooth, but I think Howard's still great. If they, let him play inside, outside, and off man and keep everything in front of him, he'll probably pick off more passes than people, give him credit for. So when you have these DBs that have played in multiple ways and used in multiple ways, it's going to be hard to, Nick Needham as well. He's played safety. He's played nickel. He's played, all the way out wide, man to man. So a lot of these guys have a lot of talent that if you rotate them in any given moment, Nick Needham is playing the corner, man to man. Now he's playing safety in the same series. You know how hard that's going to be to diagnose, even for quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, who's seen everything. It's hard to get a realization that number 25 is here and now he's over there. How the hell did he get over there? I didn't even see it happen. I thought so-and-so was there, just something to think about. I think they can make it really confusing. And
listen, we're going to have a bunch of jack of all trades playing defense, right? They're going to be able to play every position. You're going to be able to see Ramsey playing safety at some point. You might see him in a linebacker position. You might see him on the outside, inside. He'll be all over the place. The reality is nobody's going to know who's covering who, and it's going to be very confusing for the offense and very confusing, for it to be called out by anybody, on the offensive line or as a quarterback trying to read what the defense is doing. That's basically what's going to happen, and that's what I think. What we're going to see. With that also being said, do you think we bring anybody else in on a defensive perspective, or do you think the players we bring in as we go into camp Are they going to be more on the offensive side of the ball?
I'm going to say offense. I think we'll pick up maybe 2 offensive linemen as depth. Maybe another tight end. Maybe another receiver to compete.
Another tight end. I just can't see it. We have so many tight ends now. I just don't see that. I can see offensive linemen. I definitely can see that.
I know that the talk of a running back is a high, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about. A lot of people want to see Cook come in here. A lot of predictions of once June 1st money hit from Byron Jones that probably 2 things are going to happen. First thing is that they're going to probably sign Christian Wilkins and maneuver the money around and still have 10 million left over, and then maybe sign either an offensive lineman, or they figure out, because it's past June, the money that's owed that they'll have to pay on the books to Cook will be a little different, or maybe he ends up getting cut. Maybe then they'll pick him up. But could you imagine if the Dolphins extend Christian Wilkins, pick up an offensive lineman, and then sign Cook?
But El Capitan, El Cap, for all intents and purposes, I think that Cook deal is cooked.
Really? Why?
Yeah, I think the Cook deal is cooked.
Financially, it just makes better sense for Minnesota to work something out after, if they're going to cut him, or if some team's going to trade for him.
He's an asset. I don't think they want to get rid of him. I think they're pulling our leg.
No, I honestly don't think so, bro. I honestly think if you look, they brought in a running back.
But he's not better than Cook.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. If you look, teams are actually moving to go younger. You know, you got teams that are bringing in players, running backs that you didn't think they would bring in, and they brought in.
Crypto, always by year 2 or year 3 of a running back getting paid, the team tries to move off of them or cut them. It's just the facts. And look, I don't give a damn if it's Christian McCaffrey. They want to unload.
I just don't want Thurman Thomas 2.0.
I don't either, buddy. Listen, I don't like paying a running back on the, in that advanced in age with those kind of miles on them. $7-8 million guaranteed. I am not a fan of that. I'd rather pay $7 million to some tight end that's going to come in and start right now, personally.
But here's the other thing, though. He has supposedly come out and stated, and this has been reported by multiple outlets, that he's willing to take a hometown discount.
So yeah, I
don't know.
Listen,
do you think this might be a different Poyer type of run where they're using us as leverage? Is that possible?
I don't see why. What's the leverage they could use to squeeze him for money to take a discount with Minnesota? Because that's the only leverage I can see being played here.
Yeah, they want to take.
He's not looking for a contract. He has a contract.
500,000.
Yeah, no,
that's the difference.
To me, the deal is this: you bring him in on a 1-year deal with $4.5 million guaranteed and a potential to make $8 million. That's what you do.
I definitely understand that. I honestly
he would be the highest paid running back on the football team instantly. You can get out of the Wilson contract, the money for Ahmed or Myles Gaskin you can get out on. Now, what's odd is, to me, I got a question. Say they go and get Cook. Who do you guys think gets lopped? Who do you think gets cut? Because to me, I think who? Gaskin?
Myles Gaskin.
I think it's Gaskins and what's his name?
Ahmed?
No. Wilson? Yeah. Wilson.
Who?
Jeff Wilson.
Oh, Wilson.
Jeff Wilson. Because look at the
Jeff
guaranteed
Wilson's
money.
the one that gets clipped. Yeah, to me, it's Jeff Wilson that gets clipped because of the money.
Yeah.
And if they cut him, I think they only owe him like $250,000 or something small like that before week 1. So to me, that's how they go, well, the money we were going to give Wilson goes to him plus 500,000. You know what I'm saying? That's how they make that deal work. And if that happens, look, I don't want to lose Wilson, but if you're telling me Wilson or Cook, that's an easy answer for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to take Cook all day long. Crypto said Thurman Thomas 2.0. I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you right now, Cook knows where his helmet is. He doesn't have to worry about losing his helmet. So don't worry, Crypto. Don't worry.
Right.
So,
He
Thurman
won't lose his helmet.
Thurman
Right.
Thomas's helmet is buried next to Jimmy Hoffa, okay? But
man.
Cook knows where his
Oh
helmet is.
man,
So don't worry. He has not
that
lost
he
it.
does. I'll give him that. Yeah,
Yeah,
he does know how to pack his helmet.
yes. So anyway, so yeah, that's a move I could see us definitely making. And imagine how that unlocks the offense too. With bringing in a Cook here, you can have dual running back formations, A-Chain on one side, Cook on the other, Mostert and A-Chain, or Mostert and Cook. There's so many different combinations of dual running back combination plays you could run. And it forces not just your teams to worry about the run, they still have to worry about the receiving as well, because these guys can play out of the backfield, catch the ball. You're still making them respect both sides of the ball, basically. You know what I mean? So there's a
He
lot.
also knows what it's like to play in Hard Rock with all his fans cheering for him.
That is, God, man, color.
Yeah, man.
Ooh.
He's not lying, bro. That shit was embarrassing, Dolphins fans. That shit's
terrible.
embarrassing.
He had a lot of his fans cheering
Shit's
for him.
embarrassing, bro. I can't even believe you
That
people.
was bad.
Listen. I got a funny
How
moment.
did they allow that to happen?
I got a funny moment when it comes to fans of other teams and watching games. So I'm at the Miami versus Bills game this past season, right? And behind me and all around me, there's all these Bills fans on the home side. I didn't understand why or how they got a hold of the tickets, but whatever. And I got some Bills fans sitting behind me, and the one girl takes my hair. And at that time, if you guys remember, I had really long hair, right? And basically puts her hand in my hair and goes like this. And I'm like, what the hell? And she goes, "You should let me cut your hair." And I said, "Well, if we win this game, how about you let me cut yours?" She didn't talk to me for the rest of the time when I was there. So,
Man.
I didn't have to. At least the Minnesota fans were nice to me, and they were talking
You
to me.
didn't want to lose
everything.
your haircut, Ali. Just say it right, dude. You didn't want to lose your haircut.
I had to turn it around on her. I said, okay, if you guys win, you can, if you want to cut my hair, that's fine. But if we win, I'm going to shave yours.
That's exactly what I would have done, bro. I'm going to bust out that electric. I'm going to shave it like Britney Spears. That's basically what I'm going to do. So, whatever.
Well, how do you know she's shaved?
Oh, color's going there. I can't talk about that tonight.
Hey, and for you older people, Britney Spears for you young folks, and Sinead O'Connor for you older folks.
Sinead.
Wow, damn. So,
talking about Germany.
So I don't know. I kind of thought the Vikings fans were more respectful. So I'm okay with Vikings.
Yeah, they were a little nice.
I mean, I'll give them credit. They were respectful, but when you're the majority in your opponent's stadium, it's easy to be respectful.
Well, then you're also comparing them to Buffalo fans. So, yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a low bar. Yeah,
a real low bar, bro. It's so down
here.
Yeah.
Out on bail and shit.
It's kind of like how the Patriot fans were always respectful too. It's like, what do they have? What reason do they have not to be respectful?
Mm-hmm.
They disrespect on the field like they're supposed to.
Yeah,
they hospitalized their own fans by putting them through tables. What do you think they're gonna do to other fans? Holy crap!
Listen, if they're going to call OSHA on us, I'm going to call and do some Baker acting on the Buffalo Bills fans, because I think it's ludicrous to throw yourself through a table in the first place. How
set on fire too? On top of that,
how brainless can you be? I mean, come on.
On fire too. The tables.
Yeah,
are on fire
they're terrible.
This is Monday Night Football, not Monday Night Raw, bro. I mean, come on.
There's fake as wrestling, guys. There's fake as wrestling.
Yeah, listen. If you want to,
Vince McMahon would be proud.
If you really want to watch some fake wrestling, why don't you go to TNT on that network and watch whatever they put out, along with any other fake football. So that being said, speaking of trash talk, goes into the next segue. Chiefs L'Jarius Sneed calls out Dolphins Tyreek Hill for talking a lot of trash. Shout out to Bleacher Report who put this out. L'Jarius Sneed has.
Wait a minute. When did this happen?
Today.
This is today. L'Jarius
yeah?
Sneed has heard Tyreek Hill's trash talk, and he's been prepared to do something about it. The Kansas City Chiefs cornerback called out his former teammate during an appearance on the NFL
His
Network.
name is Sneed, bro. No one's taking him seriously.
Yeah, it sounds like every time I hear his name, I want to say Gesundheit, to be honest.
Yeah.
I got what you need, baby.
God, it sounds like an STD. I got the Sneed.
Oh, man, I got to go to the doctor and get a shot. I caught the Sneed again.
Damn it. Tyreek's been talking a lot of trash, Sneed said. He's been talking a lot about coming back to Arrowhead. He show him what he gets. We'll show him what he gets here. I really don't get into it. I can't even speak tonight. I'm drunk, maybe. I don't really get into it, but
You're not drunk enough.
I'm not drunk enough, exactly. But I take notes of what he said. I've been on the internet and I see what he's saying. We'll see once he comes to Arrowhead. Well, guess what? The NFL said no to you, Mr. Sneed. You will not get Tyreek Hill and the Miami Dolphins. You will get a Frankfurt sausage down your throat instead.
A sausage.
Yeah, it sounds like some kind of introverted. Sounds like some kind of introverted English professor, L'Jarius Sneed.
Yeah, it sounds like he's gonna tell me about quantum physics.
L'Jarius Sneed. Crypto, mute yourself. L'Jarius Sneed is taking a Kraut deep dive down his throat. So that's exactly what is going to happen.
This episode might not make it.
Your Majesty the Queen.
This is a
May I
take.
introduce Sir L'Jarius Sneed?
Listen. The reality is for me is that, bring on the trash talking. I want to see it. I want to see them take it out on the field and see what happens. I honestly think Tyreek Hill is going to make a spectacle of him just because of these comments.
Can we point something out about society real quick?
Go ahead.
I am sick of the receipt keepers. All right. All you receipt keepers, get a fucking life. All right.
Yeah.
Get a fucking life, you people.
I know, right?
I've been keeping the receipt. Like, bro, you know how much of a bitch you sound when you're a receipt keeper? You're just a Ken and a Karen. That's all you are, bro.
Exactly. Like literally the only people that keep receipts are people that care about their taxes, man. Come on.
Yeah, bro. I mean, literally, you're a person that is just such a freaking, I don't know, you're a crybaby. You're a person that goes on Yelp and writes the bad review because you didn't get your food quick enough or something. Like I don't like it. It's you want to see the manager, you want to keep the I have my receipt. I got my receipt. I fucking hate it, bro. I want a body fools that say about receipts. I can't fucking stand it. Shut the fuck up. You know how it's the most uncool thing in society right now is to be a receipt keeper. So all you fucking dorks keep on keeping on.
All I know is I took those receipts to the H&R block and they told me to get the fuck out.
Right, exactly. Like I always tell them, Capitan and Shake, I always just tell them, look, you want my receipts, you're going to have to call Ticketmaster and Fanatics. I don't know what to tell you. Speaking of, while you're looking for Colors receipts over at Fanatics, make sure you're hitting the link in the description below to get there.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, Color, we have some. By
the way, this is what your receipts redeems.
Oh, shit, damn.
There you go, Shake.
You want El Capitan's receipt? Look at his back wall. That's what I will say. Look at his back wall.
This don't mean anything, apparently. I mean,
it's the same with the bandwagon bullshit. It's the same with the bandwagon talk. Like, don't they realize who built the damn bandwagon?
Yeah,
like, you don't even have a bandwagon to sit on if it ain't for people like us.
We invented the wheel for the bandwagon, fucko. Get out of here.
I was literally there, El Capitan. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Chiseling it out of freaking coral down here. Captain, that's what we use.
Captain in Color, hold it down for one moment. I got a surprise for you.
Right after they invented the wheel, they used that shape to invent cheddar cheese in England.
By the way, I want to tell you what a fake fan is.
English stealing our shit all the time. Sorry, Shay, go ahead.
No, I'm a fake fan. Is these Golden State Warriors fans that just came out of nowhere? These Kansas City Chiefs fans that came out of nowhere. A Dolphin fan, being a fake Dolphin fan, we haven't won shit in 20 years, bro. Talking about fucking fake Dolphin fan. What the fuck?
Listen, I will give it to Dolphins fans. They are really loud and proud forever and always.
Like being a fake Lions fan.
Well, that's when they Mott and Bailey. But that's when they Mott and Bailey us and are like, it's just about positivity and negativity.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Dude, if I gotta hear how
ago.
positivity's got to be the lifeblood of this fan base one more time. Oh my fuck, bro! Get the fuck out of here with your fake ass positivity, Joe. I'm so sick of that shit too. Second thing. Receipt keepers and positivity preachers are fucking dorks. Stop it, everybody.
He goes, hold on, one last thing is he go, let's speak it into existence. You know how many times I try to speak the lottery and Victoria's Secret models into existence and that shit don't happen? Fuck you.
It don't work.
Right.
It's like voodoo now.
It's like the little court jester that goes. It's like the little court jester that goes around the town asking, making sure everybody's happy with the king. Like, you're sure you're happy, right?
Listen,
you're positive about the king, right?
Hold on real quick. Color makes a good point. Soon enough, they're going to want us to have a picture on the wall. And if it's not clean or the picture's cracked or something, you're going to have to go to jail. This is a slippery slope with you friggin' positivity preachers and all this stuff. Don't you understand? You're surrendering your power over.
It's a communal mind virus.
It is, bro. It sounds like communism a little bit.
It's actually worse than, it's more primitive than that. It's like King Henry's court.
Damn. Well, here's the receipt I have.
It's like, it's like this. It's like, I kind of think Chua stinks, but I certainly ain't saying nothing about it, lest my head be on the chopping block. You know what I mean?
Silence yourself through ways. Fuck out. Go ahead, Ali.
So I got a receipt to give you guys. So
I know what this is. Go ahead, Ali. You want to pull it up on the big screen?
Yeah. So this is my receipt for you fools that think I'm some fake fan, right? You see this? You guys see it? Hold on.
Is that Connor Williams' jersey?
Connor Williams, fuck you. This is a signed Ricky Williams jersey. Just so you know. Beckett certified, signed, in my possession. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Signed with Ricky Williams' very own vape pen.
Yes. And in addition to it, I got 3 more on the way. Stay tuned. You can take your receipts and shove it up your ass. I don't really care.
Get out of here.
There's nobody up here. Oh, actually, I take that back. There's nobody that is when it comes to the people on this panel. There's nobody that I know that spend more money than what we have in total in our lifetime. Everything that I have and stuff that I have that you guys haven't even seen yet. Right. And the money I've dumped, having the fact that I have season tickets and all the games I've gone even before season tickets and all the money I've dumped into the state. I have a freaking Miami Dolphins.
Well, you need to go ahead and put the log together with all the receipts to prove your purity test to the Dolphins fans that just showed up last fucking 2 years. Fuck out of here, bro.
Hey, there's also something to be said for, spending your last dollar on the Dolphins too. Not a lot of people have a lot of money to spend on the Dolphins, but it's also what percentage of their income do they put towards this freaking team?
I tip the cap to the people that are out of market. I tip the people that are out of market that are Dolphins fans far and away that have to go to their local chicken wing joint or bar and grill and watch on a TV with no sound and are spending, all the money on whatever food and booze to be there for the 4 hours it takes. And those, a week in and week out. So again, your fandom doesn't need checking. The checkers of the fandom need the checking. That's what I lay it.
Yeah, and exactly. And you don't need to spend money to be a fan, by the way. And I'm not trying to show I'm a bigger fan just because I spent money. My point is that I have spent blood, tears,
my fan's bigger than
sweat.
your fan.
We can put that. No, I'm just kidding. My point is that I have spent mental time. I have spent brain cells, calories, sweat, bled, cheered, had a heart attack on the field. So many different things with this team, and I'm still here regardless of where it takes me. That's basically what it comes down to. Anyway, also
I didn't mean to insinuate you were saying that, Ollie, by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just pointing out for these people that think, these other people that throw their number 1 jerseys in my face. It's like, buy me one and I might wear it. You know what I mean?
You mean
they're the ones that want me to just believe for no reason, right? Well, they should put their money where their mouth is.
Color, is this the number that haunts you, the number 1 that you're talking about? Is it this one right here? Listen, you people call me a hater, and I still own a Tua jersey. I still have a Ryan Tannehill jersey. I still have a Chad Henne jersey, believe it or not. That's a true fact.
What about a Chad Pennington jersey?
Yeah, where's your Pennington jersey?
That is
they can throw Marino in my face all they want to, because I don't even own a Marino jersey. I own 1 jersey. There is 1 jersey I've ever found worthy to spend my dollars on, and y'all know who that is.
I do not have a Chad Pennington jersey. Hold on. It's funny you guys brought up Chad Pennington because I don't have it in my possession yet. So
there you go.
Is it going to go next to the Cleo Lemons jersey?
My sister bought me one.
I'm going to have a haul of jerseys, bro, framed, bro. It's going to be like my Marino jersey that I have. So
yeah, Capitan, that was Charles Clay, by the way.
Yeah,
number 42.
All right, what else do we got? Let's actually do the rundown real quick. We're gonna do that real quick, and then we'll start. We'll give it to the floor, and you guys can bring up topics you guys want to talk about. So while you're here and hanging out with us, check out the description below, and you can see links to different things, including some of our other shows. You got El Capitan doing interviews. You got anything coming up, El Capitan, you want to shout out to?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a reveal all on my only Capitans. No, I don't know. We'll just regular.
Do I have to tip every $5 every 5 minutes for that reveal?
No, but you got to join the membership to even get access. So
okay, all right. Well, thank you for letting me know. We got Color and Cup of Coffee. Color's been doing stuff every other day of the week, on different shows and stuff. And Color and I are going to be getting a morning show soon. It's coming, I promise. Maybe within the next week we will have this going here soon. We got DTA who's on furlough. You got Lewis and Shake Money doing drive times all the time. I love it. Do we know if Lewis is doing Tuesday nights still? No, maybe
he's trying to work it into the schedule. So
we're working. Okay, so we're doing some scheduling. We'll get to that soon. While you're hanging out in the chat, we appreciate any super chats and donations. Either super chat or use Cash App, Venmo if you like. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, turn on notifications, tell your kids, tell your wife. And while you're down in the description below, you can check out some of our other affiliates.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Fanatics, officially licensed everything. Check out everything that they got. You want to show off the jerseys that I get, or any of the cool draft hats that I have with my collection, or any awesome fan gear, not just for the Dolphins, but any team. Officially licensed everything. Go check out Fanatics. Use the link below. It helps out the channel. We really appreciate it. They always have deals going on, or free shipping or free expedite shipping. They even got some split payment options and stuff like that. They got everything there. So definitely check out Fanatics. In addition to Fanatics, check out Doobie Energy Drink. Doobie Energy Drinks, they have some really cool stuff. They have different supplements that focus on benefiting the brain, helping focus. It doesn't have any of that unnatural sugars and stuff that give you the jitters or the crashing and stuff like that. I'm hearing some really good stuff about their products, so definitely check out their stuff. Is there any type of promo with them? Do we know, guys? You're muted. Shake Money.
God damn it. No, according to HB, use the hashtag TFTG. You get 10% off your first purchase.
All
Good
right,
purchase.
so use hashtag TFTG to save 10% off your first purchase with Doobie Energy Drink. So thank you, Doobie. Use the link below again. In addition to them, if you got some cool fandom stuff that you want to put in your man cave, your office, maybe your corporate room, check out Backroom Collections. They got some cool canvas artwork, different teams, different stuff. Definitely check out their stuff. Use the link below. Use at checkout just code TFTG at checkout to save 10% off your Backroom Collection purchase. They also have that stuff. If you're one of those people that collect the mini helmets, they got some cool accessories and stuff for that too.
Yeah,
so
visors.
Check that.
Yeah, nice.
Visors and stuff. So definitely check that down. Shout out to all of our affiliates. We got Backroom Collection, Fanatics, and Doobie Energy Drink. Definitely awesome. In addition, while you're in the description below, check out our merch. We got the merch store. We got tons of different stuff, everything for the ladies, the gentlemen, the kids. We got awesome mugs, different logos for different shows that we have, the tumblers, the cups. There's the, Color's favorite yoga pants is up in here. They got tons of stuff, different hats. The hats are cool. They come in, different tone colors and stuff. So definitely check that out. I believe the link below also includes our flag. So check out the flag. I'm actually going to order another one of these on next payday. I got to do that. Remind me, Color. I want to have 2 of them for game days. And we also got the beanie hat, flip flops. We got everything up in there. So definitely check out the merch store. And maybe we got some stuff coming up in the near future as well. So shout out to everybody. Also, while you're at it, if you really like the content and you want more of it, become a member of the channel. You'll get, notifications. We got stuff specifically to members. We got cool emojis and different stuff that comes with that. There's 3 different levels. You got Amigos, Familia, and MVP. And there might be one. I got to talk to El Capitan. There might be a new level we'll introduce. We'll talk about that backstage. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, definitely check out some of the stuff in the descriptions we got below. All right, gentlemen. So the floor is yours. What do we want to talk about tonight? Who has a crazy take they want to talk about?
Me.
Go ahead, Greg. What do you got?
The Boston Celtics will lose by 100 tomorrow.
Damn, the Boston Celtics.
Damn, 100?
I don't know. Listen, so tonight the Heat lost to the Knicks.
Wow. 100.
Yeah, but
bitch.
yeah, that sucked. The Heat.
They lost to the Knickerbockers?
Yeah, they
Man.
did. Denver beat Phoenix.
So I guess. Yeah, they did.
Um,
imagine.
yeah. So who else plays tonight? Does anybody else play tonight? Lakers are playing right now, and I see they're down by 3 right now.
Damn.
To Golden State. Lakers win this game, bro. I don't think there's anybody that can beat the Lakers. I honestly think they go the whole way. The Lakers honestly have, in my opinion, the Lakers have the most depth compared to any other team. They're playing, dude. They got 2 guys that came out of nowhere, Austin Reeves and Lonnie Walker. Those guys are ridiculous right now. Yeah, those guys are ridiculous.
Yeah, I played Steph in that last game in the last part of the quarter there. Yeah, I played him.
I got a broken take.
Go for it, El Cap.
The Panthers laid down to Toronto tonight just for shits and gigs. They didn't want to hurt them too bad. They just laid down. They said, we don't need it, we don't need it going, closing them out so quickly. It's all a toy, and the Panthers will sew it up here next matchup.
Yeah. Toronto. Make the fans cry.
Oh, yeah?
I honestly think
they laid
Steal
down.
it out.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a lot like how baseball is. They got to play certain guys because they got to think about the next series too. So yeah, I'd imagine you're probably right about that, Capitan.
They're gearing up for the cup.
So you're telling me the Panthers are gonna, when they play the next game and they win, they're gonna be playing a new Prince song, except it's called "When Leaves Cry" instead of "When Doves Cry," but it's "When Leaves Cry."
Well, it's Leafs. I forget where I heard it. I want to say it was on Dravius that said it on
earlier
Stephen D.
today. He brought it up. Yeah.
He goes, why do they
Leafs
call
or
them?
leaves?
Why don't they say the leaves and they call them the Leafs?
That's a good question. I don't know.
That shit's hilarious. I was like, damn, why don't they?
Yeah.
I
Right.
can answer that, but it's kind of really highly semantical.
Oh wow.
And by the way, I know why the Heat lost. The Heat lost for two reasons. Number one, so they could win at home, and number two, they didn't want to be too rusty for Philadelphia.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's really because each individual fan is a Toronto Maple Leaf. So a collection of those fans would be Leafs, not leaves, even though our natural instinct and correct grammar is to say leaves. But the reason you can't say that is because if you call them the leaves, then that takes away the individualism of the individual fan, because there's no such thing as a leave. You know what I mean? It's a
so
leave.
I would say they don't want to be called the leaves because they don't want to have to be told to leave all over the place. So that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
It's just to me the incorrect grammar of pluralizing leaf like that is meant to keep the individuality of the individual fan.
Is that right? So they should. So they
leaf.
call the Maple Leaf fans.
Leafs.
I just had it too. They call them.
Like you wouldn't be one leave. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
then what
Like
do they
I'm
call
not a
the
Toronto
fan? They don't
Maple
call them
Leaf.
Leafs. They don't call the group. We are the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, Maple
Or
Leafs.
they're not the Leaves and they're not the Leafs. So are they the Leafis? What I mean, what's the plural of something?
Leafanoose.
So we got some schedule release that hit right before we started recording.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't. This says it got posted at 9:18 p.m. Okay, so I don't know
Hear
if
it,
you guys
let's hear
already
it.
talked about.
Yeah, it was.
So NFL is reporting it's an NFC Championship rematch in Week 13, 49ers versus Eagles.
Yep.
I got a broken take. If it's called a schedule release show, why are we leaking information?
So listen, listen to this. You know, I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna call it out. The NFL is writing the story. What's the point of even watching this season? They're playing the storyline and the agenda right in our faces without anybody saying anything. Let me tell you,
Vince McMahon has taken a controlling interest in all of sports because it's now all turned
Yeah.
into the drama.
It is sports
Dana White.
entertainment. That's what it is. And here's the thing. I am going to
You say
double
Vanna
down.
White?
I'm gonna double down on what I said about wanting to play the big bad wolves first. I think it is more testicular fortitude to play them first, the first game of the season, than waiting to the end when you know they're going to want to take a break and save everybody for the freaking playoffs. That's what I'm going to say. Week 13 through 17 is really, let's try to start saving people for the playoff week, right? That's what that is.
I think he just checkmated you, Crypto. I think he just checkmated you on that, Crypto.
I'm gonna call the NFL trying to put their pussies first in
Kansas
front of
City was
people
so
that really
close.
have balls.
Their players all the way to the end.
So there.
You checkmate me on that.
Let me tell you. The NFL is trying to save their darlings. That's what's happening. The NFL is trying to do everything they can to put their agenda. Their darlings are the New York planes that crash and go missing over the ocean. They're the Eagles or the Kansas City Chiefs or the Bills or any team that they feel they want to put in their agenda.
The Bills and Chiefs was trying to play to the very end. Think
about this. Why do you think the NFL did not make that Kansas City game in Kansas City? I'll tell you why. One, they're trying to make every dollar they possibly can. And two, what happens if Kansas City actually lost to the Miami Dolphins? Well, if it's in front of Germany, nobody really cares. That's the reality of it. If it's in front of Kansas City Chiefs like it should have been, then it's a big deal. And then the NFL has to do all their hard work to change up their agenda.
Yeah, well, you know what Kansas City Chiefs fans are saying, that the Dolphins are getting it easy because Arrowhead's the loudest stadium and it would break Tua and all that stuff. They're talking mad trash that we're the ones getting off scot easy on playing in Germany and not playing in Arrowhead.
Well, you don't see us taking a class action lawsuit against them for hearing problems that caused by the effect and that OSHA should be noticed by. I mean, like the fucking Bills did with the fucking sun that's part of the fucking universe, you asshole.
Yeah, and I bet you they're going to mitigate that by putting most of our primetime games at home. Watch.
You know what?
They're going to be like, they're gonna mask it by
Part of the universe,
no,
you assholes.
Hey,
Listen,
but they're gonna mask it. They're gonna mask it by the fact that most Dolphin fans are gonna be like, "All right, we're getting respect in primetime games," but they don't realize they're all of our home games, and now we've taken it away our heat advantage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen. The Buffalo Bills fans remind me of a bunch of flat earthers. That's what they are because they think the sun doesn't really exist. That's what they're saying. So whatever, get the hell out of here.
Someone turn that sun down.
The sun is only 3,000 miles away, hung in the sky right above the clouds. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You suck, Bills.
Crypto, what broken takes do you have left for us? What do you got?
I can't tell you how many times people ask.
Oh, besides, we're being the only teams to beat the Jets next year.
That's the only broken take you got?
No, I had some more.
He's got a whole bag of broken takes. Go ahead.
I got a whole bag.
One thing before you do go. September 19th, 2021. The Bills beat us 35-0. I guarantee you it was fucking hot. Yet they didn't make any fucking excuses about the fucking weather. So fuck you.
Yeah.
It's only if it fits their narrative. If they win, then we got nothing to complain about. But if they lose, oh my God, everybody has to point the fingers like a bunch of Karens. Well, that's unfair. They can't do that. I'm sorry. It's the sun. You guys need to get rid of the sun so then we can play against you.
What they don't realize is the week before that against New England was 10 times hotter.
Oh my God, it was 10 times hotter. I'm not gonna lie. I freaking just in the parking lot, I was already like.
Did they just
roasted.
Coast off of New England? Because New England's like, hey, we're gonna come early to get acclimated to the heat, blah 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 blah, and they then use that as an excuse. Going, yeah, you know what? That heat was a good excuse.
Oh, right, like New England calling attention to it gave them the idea. Well,
yeah, New England
made
the trail and they just followed,
right.
Which is right in line with Bills and the way they get down. They're just a bunch of followers, anyhow.
And the funny thing is, forget what the score said. You know, we made fun. A lot of us laughed at Belichick for that, but you got to credit them because despite what the score said, they actually played us a little better than the Bills did, if you ask me. Like their offensive linemen weren't collapsing in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, the Patriots and Bill, they're not quitters or stuff like that. Like the Bills, they're quitters. We know that. So.
Yeah, I definitely.
And here I was the whole week. Here I was the whole week leading up to that game, telling Mark and all them guys, "Oh yeah, our defense will outlast yours," and it turned out to be their offensive line collapsing, not even their defense.
Yeah.
All I know is when we beat them next year, Mark is going to be doing business things for 2 months.
Yeah, Mark will be on a month-long vacation before he can just slide back in.
Business trip.
Right after. You notice he came back right after the Bills had a nice victory. I forget who it was against. But
and he claimed he was on a business trip. Like we're all too stupid to realize there's Ethernet in the hotel room. You know what I mean? Like
it's the same
really,
thing
bro?
with CB83 who goes back to his college and no one sees him for 3
Everybody
weeks.
has Wi-Fi.
You don't even need Wi-Fi. You have the internet on your phone through the
exactly
shit. I mean, you can hotspot your phone to your computer to use your computer from places. You can use your phone, you assholes.
I remember I remember during the regular football season, I had to go on a business trip. I went in Orlando. Well, it wasn't really a business trip, but I was on a business meeting in Orlando. I had to stay in a hotel, and I was on the Batman show in my hotel.
Right.
So,
TD did like 3 shows from a freaking hotel room a couple weeks ago, man.
Charlie Touche with Go Time Dolphins is constantly traveling for his job. Most of his shows that he does with Kadeem, he's in his hotel doing it from the hotel. So I don't want to hear that bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them. So
Yeah. I mean, it don't matter where you're at. You could be coming back from Southeast Asia for all I care. You know,
Exactly.
even
I mean, I've been arguing with you guys sitting there having dinner with my mom at a restaurant before, man.
Even
he's
I've
getting
seen,
in chat. That's the thing. He wasn't even in chat. It was like
Exactly,
he deactivated his account.
even on airplanes, they have internet now. So I mean, you just need an internet connection.
$5. Yep, it's $5 for the flight, right?
So
Swipe your credit card.
Yeah,
I've joined one of the live streams from the Himalayan mountains in virtual reality. So there
Right,
you go.
By the way, Mark is the type of person that seems like, hey, you got 20 miles to walk this way, or we could give you a ride for 50 cents. No, I'll keep walking.
Hey guys, you guys remember the Mike Olivia segment we did?
No.
You don't remember that?
No, I remember that.
We do so much shit, Color. You'll have to fucking
Mike,
enlighten us on
Mike
what
from
we've done.
Mike from Dolphin Nation or wherever, or
Dolphins Talk.
Dolphins Talk. Yeah,
okay,
Mike Olivia.
Okay,
yeah.
I was in Colorado on vacation at a freaking resort when I was on that show.
Yep,
that
that's
night.
right, Color. I remember.
Yeah.
Live on location from the Colorado Mountains.
You could come from anywhere, man. The Himalayan
We were
mountains,
actually at this place called the Hostel.
The Hostel.
Sounds like a place for organ harvesting. But
Yeah, it was completely made out of wood, the entire thing, and like you can hear everybody in the entire place like walking around their rooms all night.
Creepy.
So there's some experienced corners being released. I don't mean to change the subject, but I just saw this. The Steelers have informed veteran cornerback Arthur Maulet, I think is how you say his last name. Mallet, is it Mallet? Maulet Color. Please tell me how to pronounce it. Mallet. With them since 2021 and is being released, source said. He's an experienced corner who's available now.
Wait, Maulet. Wait, what was the spelling?
Mallet.
Maulet.
Party in the front.
Yeah, mullet. Or
yeah, he sucks.
Business in front. Yeah, he does.
He sucks.
Talking about tight ends. This tight end I thought we would sign. Foster Moreau reached an agreement today with New Orleans.
Yeah,
$12 million. That includes $8 million fully guaranteed. Is it me or is this tight end one of the tight ends that signed for more money compared to the ones that we thought would get the bag?
Well, that's a hand pick from Carr right there. That's his tight end from
but
Vegas.
You got to look at the guarantee too. You know what I'm saying? Getting a $13 million contract for whatever.
He's getting $8 million fully guaranteed.
Wow.
In addition, and an additional $3 million in incentives. So
man, what a trade up from Waller.
Because you look at you look at people like Gesicki and even the guy I really wanted, Dalton Schultz. I think their deals are only like $4 million, bro. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm on the dollar.
Well, Moreau is on par with a guy like Freiermuth, man. You know, or Dalton Schultz or somebody.
He showed promise. I like
the NFL collusion to devalue the payment on the tight end position is in full effect, ladies and gentlemen. So let's call it for what it is. Tight ends were getting a little pricey there ever since Jimmy Graham looking all cool and stuff like that. And just like running backs have been devalued, tight ends are on their devalue. They cannot afford to chalk up full teams in positions of running back and tight end. These guys that you're going to ask to be beat up all the time.
The league is saying Gronk was the Dan Marino of tight ends, and ain't none of them going to be that good for a while. So stop asking.
What about
for
Kelsey?
the money.
What about Kelsey?
Well, Kelsey too. But those are aberrations. So stop asking for the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's basically what they're saying.
We'll even have to see what happens with Kyle Pitts. He was supposed to be the next big thing. I know they don't really have their offense. What's that, Greg?
The problem with Atlanta is they're going to be running the ball a lot because they got Bijan Robinson now and they got Tyler.
I agree, but that's usually
their motto.
not just that, but it's usually the case of how a tight end can get loose. You're having him in line, blocking all the time, and then you only dial up 6 or 7 plays for him, and he's wide fucking open.
And I can imagine a relationship much like Lamar and Mark Andrews between Desmond Ridder and Kyle Pitts.
I agree.
And you know, it's funny. It's funny you brought up Lamar and Mark Andrews color, because here's a broken take. Does anybody know, has Saquon Barkley signed his tender yet?
Not yet.
No, he has not.
So my broken take, if it doesn't happen this season, if it happens next season, that they either have to let him go or they have to trade him, he will be a Baltimore Raven. That's my broken take.
Could you imagine Saquon on Baltimore this year? Holy
God.
Yeah, so that's my broken take.
That would be
Saquon,
sick.
Lamar,
That would be crazy.
Odell, and everybody else they brought there.
Odell
Jay
has a 1-year
Flowers,
deal.
Bateman.
That's insane.
Yeah. Who has a 1-year deal?
Odell.
Yeah, but I could see them bringing him back. If he does
Bringing him
decent,
back
stays
after
healthy,
that.
I could see they could bring him back.
I mean, I have a broken take, but I've been saying it pretty much on every YouTube channel. The Detroit Lions not only will win the NFC North, but they'll be playing for an NFC Championship, and Jared Goff will have an MVP caliber season.
Greg,
It's not too broken.
I was a year too early on that take, buddy. But I am in complete agreement with you. I don't know about them in the NFC Championship game, but
they're going to be a contender. They're going to be a contender to get there.
They're going to be a contender.
You're definitely amongst like-minded folk around here, Greg, with that take.
Goff is going to be getting the praise where everyone's going to go, damn.
Let me ask you guys this. I know we made the bet on Stephen D's channel. I get that.
Yeah.
But let me ask this. Did you
Although I'm
really
not betting
think
this time again.
That's fine. Did you think that the Detroit Lions would be 4th in points per game at that point when they were there?
Nope.
Like I told people that watch out for this offense. It will hurt you. And nobody believed me. And then look what happened. If it wasn't for our defense, bro, and figuring things out, they were torching us at some point. You know what I mean?
Torching us pretty good.
Yeah, the defense was like, we got some issues.
It took a while before we figured them out. Yeah.
Yeah,
It took a while.
you know, I don't know. I kind of think they might take a step back because Jamal Williams is not there anymore.
Well, Jameson.
No, they got the best running back in the draft, Bijan Robinson.
But they didn't get Bijan Robinson. They got Jameer Gibbs, by the way.
Yeah, I think Jameer Gibbs is a better fit for what they're going to ask him to do.
I do agree, but I don't think it'll start off as quickly as it did with the Lions last year.
Bro,
because
the Lions stole my draft fucking sheet. I swear to God. They stole my fucking draft sheet because all the picks they made, I was like, these motherfuckers are taking everything I wanted.
Dude, Dan Campbell. Here's a hot take.
Every
Dan
fucking
Campbell.
single thing I wanted, the bastards took.
Here's a hot take. Dan Campbell is still connected with the freaking Miami Dolphins evaluation room and their evaluators, bro. He probably has a bug in there that nobody knows about because there's no way this chump, and I'm not calling him a chump, I'm just joking, but the reality is there's no way this guy goes and drafts every single person we thought the Dolphins could take. Literally.
Yeah.
On every single one of our draft picks, he took every single one that we thought.
It's amazing.
Everything.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to be good.
You'll like this broken take. Ali, you ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
This has got something to do. This got something to do with Ohio State relations to this particular team. Every year, there's been a brand new team that made the playoffs. Every year, it's almost written in stone, right? There's always going to be a fresh new set of teams make the playoffs.
Yeah.
This year, instead of being Jacksonville, this year it's going to be the Houston Texans with C.J. Stroud winning the division title.
That's not a joke, bro. They already have the running game.
This going to be Houston Texans this year.
I got the broken take to trumpet. It's going to be the Colts that actually win that division.
Anthony Richardson, baby. AR-15. Let's go.
AR-15 is going to straight. They're going to win 9 games and win that division.
Hey, by the way,
that's a good one. That's a good one too.
And he's going to be talked about at Rookie of the Year. He very well may win it. And
exactly.
That's something to talk about. Offensive Rookie whatever the fuck they
I
call
can
it.
see Jack Campbell winning Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I got 2 broken takes.
Go for it, Shake.
Broken take number 1. Crypto doesn't like Ohio State now because who's that? Jim Harbaugh paid Stephen D's debts and gave him all those hot dogs at the game when they met him.
Yeah, there's picture proof. I've seen it on Stephen D's Facebook or Instagram. So,
but now he's a Michigan fan because he bought him all those hot dogs.
Yeah.
And number two, Dan Campbell did that as a fuck you to the Dolphins for hiring Adam Gase over him.
Listen,
what happens when you hire
he
that,
don't need to give us a fuck you. We
the
fucked
real broken
ourselves
take
on that
there.
deal.
I think
Fucked ourselves on that deal.
Y'all missed the real broken take there. It flew right over y'all's heads. The real broken take is the mole that Dan Campbell had was Stephen Ross himself. The Detroit philanthropist himself, Stephen Ross.
That's exactly fucking right, Color. Color
He's
is on the
rebuilding
nose because
you think about it.
It is Stephen Ross's daughter that runs the whole city of Detroit.
And while he's rebuilding, Motown, and while he's rebuilding Motown, what better than to give you the NFL team there a leg up to fall right in, just like he's doing with Miami down here with the gambling and the casinos and all that shit.
Yep.
Yeah, he honestly,
Color,
he really,
right.
he is right. He's rebuilding that city.
Good one.
He pumps millions of dollars into the Michigan program. Dude, you to be honest, it wasn't
Dan Campbell there.
It wasn't Harbaugh that bought all the hot dogs for Crypto and Stephen D. It was Stephen Ross.
It was Stephen Ross.
He put Dan Campbell there because he saw what he saw with Dan Campbell back when he was here.
There's not a hot dog in the entire state of Michigan that he ain't getting a piece of.
But I'm saying it goes even further back to counter Shake's point. I think that he saw what he saw in Dan Campbell back then, and I think he placed Dan Campbell in Detroit.
That's right.
And by the way, what's funny, what's crazy is while Stephen Ross is buying Crypto hot dogs, he's giving us other Dolphin fans his wiener.
Remember, Dan Campbell's first game out of the gate with us. Remember, Dan Campbell's first game out of the gate with us. We defeated the Houston Texans 44-12 when I think they made the playoffs that year.
And not only that, but I don't think it was kind of like I don't think we beat the Texans in like freaking 8 years or some shit like that when we beat them in that game, Color. The Texans were at the time what the Ravens ended up becoming as the years continued, where it's just a team we could never fucking beat. Remember how I hated the Texans. I think we won like 2 games against them in like the first 15 years of the franchise or some shit.
Right. It was ridiculous.
So I got my broken take, and it has to do with Crypto. So since Crypto is a Michigan fan, right? By the 2024 draft, Crypto is going to be wearing an Ohio State Marvin Harrison jersey, claiming that he's his new favorite player in the NFL.
No, I like the Kings, Ali.
You can like the Canes, bro, but I'm telling you right now, remember how you said Justin Jefferson's your favorite player?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be Marvin Harrison Jr. That's my broken take. So,
okay.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is the real deal, and whoever gets him, that's amazing. Good for you. So, but listen,
I refuse to give anyone my favorite player moniker until I see a good decade of being a favorite player for me. That's it.
So
my favorite player is Zach Thomas.
I thought your favorite player was Jesse Davis.
No. I don't even no. Until I get
Jesse
Zach
Davis eyes.
If I need some Zach.
El Capitan, you told me that you used to party with Ryan Leaf, and he was your favorite player.
First of all, I did party with Ryan Leaf, and Buddy can get down Chinatown Charlie Brown. All right, so Buddy knows how to get the girls to really get crazy. So.
Shout out to Ryan Leaf. He's a motivational speaker now.
Does Ryan Leaf call his whole group of kids? Does he call them Leaves?
Right.
How did I know Color was gonna go there? How did I know?
He doesn't call them leaves. He call them leafs.
Because Color's a pure comedian and knows how to round out a joke, man, in the long term.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
they call them
Oh
leaves.
man, this is fucking.
All right, final thoughts, gentlemen.
they're
Greg,
baby
what's your
leaves.
final thought?
My final thought is, please win against the Chiefs in Germany. I'll be hyped. Anyway, I just hope week 1 we get the Bills. I want the Bills week 1 because I want to beat the Dogs or the Eagles maybe, but I want the Bills week 1 now. Maybe Patriots.
So you don't want the Dogs, you want the Buffalo Bitches week 1 is what you're saying.
I do. I want to put them in their place.
Okay.
The Buffalo bitches.
Yeah, because that's what they are. Buffalo bitches. All they do is bitch all day. They take their tampons out of their ass and bitch about it. So
Damn.
It's broken takes. So let's bring it. I don't care what shitty take you got. Bring it.
Ryan Leaf's mailbox says on
Shitty
it.
take, all right. That's a
Ryan
shitty
Leaf's
take for
mailbox.
sure.
Ryan
And
Leaf's
shitty
mailbox
tampons.
says the leaves.
Exactly.
So,
Not the
Greg, you got
leaves, the
anything
leaves.
else for us?
I hope I'm able to go to Washington,
All right.
D.C.
Oh yeah, we'll be here waiting for you. Me, Shake Money.
If you're
the
in
whole gang.
DC, if you're going to DC, the whole area is pretty cool. Pretty much everywhere is free to go because of all the monuments and stuff. It's pretty dope.
Bro.
But check out Chinatown. Some of the best Chinese food I've had
Yep.
in the
Well,
States came from Chinatown. So go to Chinatown.
Me and my dad want to.
Yeah,
I think we want to
got
go
some
back
good
because we
food
didn't
there.
get to see the entire all the museums. We saw all
And
the
it-
monuments.
And if you're into ethnic food, there's some Persian restaurant called the Bazaar of Kebab. Check them out. The best Persian food you're going to have on the East Coast, in my opinion.
Well,
Not
yeah,
to take us
I'll
off
see
track, but I thought they tore down all the monuments over there.
No, they're still there, I believe.
I'm just
Oh,
Damn.
damn.
Sorry, I couldn't fucking help myself, bro. I couldn't help
I'm
Wow.
trying to be able to
I
keep
couldn't
this
help
show on
myself.
track.
Listen, we're getting fucking squirrely on this bitch. I'm on it. Fuck around with beer.
I wonder if in the visitor center at the Lincoln Monument, do they sell little vials of bird shit?
I don't think so because when I went, it was raining, and we stood under the Lincoln Memorial, so we didn't get soaked.
No, they sell little vials of
You just gotta
leaves.
climb on that chair and sit down on top of it.
Rihanna, let's go.
Damn.
By the way, if you get an email from Ryan Leaf, whatever, do you say I'm reading the tea leaves?
No, the E leaves. The E
Only
leaves.
when you're having a cup of tea, Shake Bunny.
Oh, man. All right, Craig, thank you. I'm going to throw you in the back. Thank you so much for your takes. And then he leaves with that funny laugh Greg has. I love it.
Yeah, he's
Crypto,
gold, bro.
Crypto, what are your final thoughts?
My final thought, and along with the broken take, I'll say we have no room for error. It's either we go 17-0 or 0-17. No in between.
No in between.
One loss is a failure. One win is a
say
failure.
this, Crypto. It will most certainly be in between those numbers.
Hey, listen. Is it we go 0-17 and tank the right way, or go undefeated and do it the right way? That's how you do it. That's it. That's a broken take. No in betweens. There's no gray areas with this team. I want nothing less than perfection, or what's the opposite of perfection? Travesty.
All right.
There you go. Damn.
Travesty or perfection. That's it. Anything in between is a failure.
Definitely. All right, Crypto. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out with us on Broken Takes. So thanks, man. Well, that's some real poetry right there, but also travesty in the end.
I'm gonna go ahead and take it out,
bro.
lady,
That's
if you
some
don't
real
mind.
poetry right there. I might have to use that shit.
There you go. So shake my. I want to start doing that thing where they do it at like cafes where they're doing poetry. Snaps. Yes, that's
word, bro.
that's some shit right there.
Word.
So, Shake Money, got any final thoughts for us? It's been a crazy show. It's been off the rails.
Yeah.
You've said some things that I don't know if I can get away with, but you know, it is what it is. It's broken.
Hey, listen. At the end of the day, man, El Capitan is good to chop it up with you, and I'm looking forward to tonight's episode of the what's that scheduled release party, baby? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, man, hey, man, I'm blessed to be a part of this team, and tonight on Larry K's channel before the draft release party, before it's gonna be from 7 to 8. This is gonna be before the release party. The one, the only Chef Jew is gonna be in the blender, bro. So I want y'all to check it out on Larry K's channel.
Oh, sweet! I'll be there.
I'm the fucking ambassador himself. I can't wait to check that out.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Chef Jew and you are cooking. You got the blender and the chef together. Who knows what they can cook?
We're going to talk about how he's been a season ticket holder for 10 years, and we're going to talk about how he got married and why he got, it's going to be a great episode, man. So hope to see y'all there, man. Be safe, man.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Definitely. You too, Shake.
All right. El Capitan, the man, the myth, the legend. He comes and spreads his, gracious all over us and everything. And
yeah, that's what I call it, my gracious.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of something funny to say.
I can spread my gracious anywhere as long as it's not, caught on film.
What final thoughts you got, bro?
As far as schedule, stuff like that. Listen, you know what I want? I know we talk about, ramping up or getting the hard opponents early because it benefits us with our home field advantage. Or we don't play well in the winter. Fuck all that nonsense. The championships in the winter, the playoffs is in the winter. Figure it out, okay? That's what I say. Figure it the fuck out. To me, I'll tell you what I don't want to see. I don't want to see games that it looks like the team is kind of just taking off. You know what I'm saying? That's what I don't want to see. I want to see every game matters. Win the first 11 games. Then you can worry about taking shit off. You know what I'm saying? Go 11-0, and then the latter part of the season, then you can start thinking about strategic rest days and bullshit like that. That's how I would play it personally. Get out in front, get a large jump. So then if you're 11-0 and you're one of the top 4 seeds, you take this week, you take 2 weeks off and take losses. Who gives a shit? Then you come back.
Exactly. That's when teams like the Vikings don't matter. Exactly.
That's right. When you've all but guaranteed a seed in the playoffs and only need to win maybe 1 or 2 more games to freaking be number 1 or number 2 in the AFC with home field advantage, then you figure that out. Up until that point, now that's an unrealistic expectation. I got you. But what I don't want to see is like the Vikings game last year. It just seemed like everybody was taking off that game. Strategically, we're going to try things out this game. Fuck all that noise, dude. Get it how you live and live 1,000 miles an hour. Expectations are high. I will keep them high. And with that, I will say goodbye. So,
Fins up, man. Thank you, El Cap.
Later, El Cap.
Yeah. All right, Color. Then there were 2. And what final thoughts do you have for us, man? What do you got?
So, for my final broken take of the afternoon, morning, whatever it is. At the end of the day, it's still noon in Germany, and I think that out of everybody in the Dolphins community at large, the surprise person, this person that's going to surprise everybody and actually show up in Frankfurt for the game is going to be none other than Crypto. Crypto has a military background. He's in the know. He's right there next to the records keeping department to get his passport all squared away, or his military ID, or whatever he holds. He's going to go over there. He's going to stick a big old fat Frankfurt in his hand and a big old cup of water in the other hand, and he's going to feel right at home in Frankfurt.
It ain't going to be a cup of water, Color. Don't be lying. You know what Crypto's favorite drink is? The Hefeweizen or whatever it's called.
Hefeweizen. That's right. He's going to get the Hefeweizen. Yep.
And the best Hefeweizen you can have is in the motherland, Germany. I mean, come on.
Well, unfortunately, I mean, he can probably find a Hefeweizen in Frankfurt, but Frankfurt's flagship beer is a Hofbräu. It's called Frankfurter Hofbräu. But each town has their own, so he could probably go to like the next town over and find a Hefeweizen. I mean, it's not hard to find.
I'm sure he knows all the spots. I'm sure he knows all the spots.
Yep.
So definitely color. Anything else for us?
That'd be
Anything
it,
you
man.
got coming up in the future or whatever?
Other than I'm trying to get myself back in order. It's the off season. It's tough. There's just been, I mean, you know, we signed a tight end the other day. I mean, what do you want me to say? I'm gonna get a little more commentary in, a little more sidebar stuff. I look forward to continuing the discussion about the HBCUs, and I'm gonna be tailoring some shows going forward to discuss issues like that. Fill some time in the off season, give you all some color to listen to, and we'll get it going on. And I also look forward to starting things up with you pretty soon in the morning. So
yeah, dude, it's just I know it's been crazy busy with my whole job and the off season and everything. We just haven't been able to get it going,
and that's why it's important. Same with me, same with my life right now. I'm dealing with health issues and other stuff too, but that's why it's important you guys keep the notification bell hit. Go back, recheck it, unclick it, and click it again. Make sure YouTube ain't screwing up. Make sure you're getting the notifications when we go, because you may find color pop up at 2 p.m. one time with something on his mind. So,
And the other thing is that, and I have talked to you about this color. This morning show that we have planned, I don't want to just put out some content that really doesn't make sense or anything. I want it to be more of a finished product before we put it out. I want it to be something that I can be proud of, and that it's not. This isn't like a show that once the season starts, we're just going to go straight to late night exhale. This is something that we're going to continue to do and expand on and grow, not just as a channel, but as a community. We're listen. The Finn's Tailgate is where, as we say, it's where the party never stopped. Is an inclusive group. That means we bring everybody, no matter who you are, come party with us. If you see me at every single home game, you can see me. I'll be in the yellow parking lot right across the street from East 32, because I haven't been a season ticket holder that long, and it takes like 11 years. They said wait list to be able to get those parking passes. That's fine. I'll get there. Come have a shot of tequila with me, or a shot of whatever liquor I have. Come have a shot with me. I'll be glad to throw you a beer or a shot. Doesn't matter. Come hang out with us. Come check me out in the parking lot. Any other final words, Color, before I throw you in the back?
That'd be it, man. Throw me back.
All right, Finn's up, man. All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming and joining, hanging out with us. It was a party off the rails. We talked smack, we talked smoke, we talked news, we got serious, we joked around. The Jets still stuck. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. For me, there's a song I used to listen to when I was, growing up and everything, and it's by Notorious B.I.G., and he has a song called Dead Wrong, and the lyric says, "The weak or the strong, who's got it going on? ? You're dead wrong." Well, the NFL, you're dead wrong. The fact that you want to protect all of your darlings and your big bad wolves, I'm sorry, but it looks like they're nothing but a herd of sheep. That's what they are. They are soft, S-O-F-T. All right? That's my final take for tonight. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Turn on notifications. I will see you all in the next show. Stay tuned.